Uh, Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Brian, and today I would like to talk about batik. But before I start my presentation, I have a question that I address to all of you. How many of you have seen this pattern before or familiar with this pattern? Please raise up your hand. So I see that most of you haven't seen or familiar with this pattern before. This pattern called batik. According to the History of Batik Indonesia article, the word batik means writing with wax. The technique was first used by the Javanese civilization in the 6th century. It would be impossible to visit or live in Indonesia and not to be exposed to one of the country's most highly developed art forms, batik. Batik is one of the most known heritage from Indonesia, and there are numerous reasons for why batik has become so prestigious in Indonesia. First, because there are a lot of interesting facts in the history of batik. Second, because batik has a unique process of making it. And last but not least, there are various kinds of batik that exist in Indonesia. Although there are many countries that also claim batik as their heritage, batik that is found in the island of Java, Indonesia, is unique and highly developed, delicate design. Historically, batik has recognized since 17th century came from ancestor of Majapahit Kingdom in the island of Java. At that moment, the motif of batik was dominated with animal form and curve. But nowadays, the development of batik is in a long progress, that is form animal painting patterns and curves by degree change over at the abstraction motif looking such as cloud and the temple relief. Furthermore, in the early 19th century, batik pattern was become highly developed on its design, where the design became more complex and varied. As a result of that, it became very engaging with the Javanese culture. According to the Batik Traditional Fabric of Indonesia article, some experts feel that the batik was originally reserved as an art form for Javanese royalty. Certainly its royal nature was clear, as a certain pattern were reserved to be worn only by the royalty from the Sultan Palace. On the other hand, besides knowing the history of batik, we could also learn the step-by-step of making it, which has a rich value of art in the Javanese culture. So here's the three basic tools that we need in order to make batik. Wajan, this is what we call wajan. Wajan is basically a container that holds the melted wax. The wax is kept melted while the artisan applying the wax into the cloth. It is melted by a charcoal stone underneath it. The second is wax. Wax is the most important tool in making batik. The most common wax that are used for making batik is bee wax, but various wax can be used. It just depends on the quality of the batik. And the last tool is cap. It's on the right side. Cap is a copper block that makes up on the design unit. Cap are made of approximately 1.5 into 2 centimeter wide copper stripes that are bent into a shape of the design. And there's two steps for designing of making batik. The first step is called waxing, which is on the right side. After the design is drawn into the cloth, it means that the cloth is ready to be waxed. The artisan apply the wax over the areas of the design that they wishes remain the color of the cloth. The second process is called dyeing. In today's world, batik factory use large concentrate fats to dye the batik. Above the fats are ropes with the pulleys that fabric is draped over after it has been dipped into the dye bed. The amount of time dyeing the cloth in the bed is depending on the hue of the colors. If the color is dark, it will take a longer time to dye it. And here's the first type of batik, and it's divided with the three separate patterns. The first pattern is on the left side, it's called kawung. It's a very old design consisting of the circle. It is well known in Java since 13th century. And the second is ceplok. It's on the right side. Ceplok is the most general name for batik, and it consists of geometric design based on square, circle, and stars. It is more to abstraction and use the illusion to depth through its color. And the last pattern is called parang. It's on the bottom. Parang used exclusively for the royal courts in the central Java. The design of the parang consists of the oblique rows of thick knife like a segment running in a parallel pattern. And the second type of batik is modern batik. According to the Fiber Arts magazine, World Batik Conference article, modern batik still have a strong relationship compared to the traditional batik. But these modern batik are more tend to have color that modern designers use. While the traditional batik mostly use the earth color, which is beige, blue, brown, and black. And not all modern batik use the earth color anymore. And the last type of batik is batik for furniture. Other than traditional batik and modern batik, batik also made for furniture. The most common furniture are pillows, bed covers, batik for cabinet, and batik for cushion. Thus, batik is very interesting object where it can be used in several events, while it can also be used for the furniture. After all, I hope you guys found that this speech is informative enough to educate you guys about one of the well-known Indonesia heritage for the past several centuries, which is batik. Thank you.
7:14.